miracle.
Yes, here.
Miracle happens
I'm
again.
gonna scoot you. Have some room to be
Give me a
cozy.
sign.
Yes.
Sign.
Do you
Any
mind
sign will do.
if I get the mic on you so my guys can hear you good? I'm just gonna put this up. Sorry.
I think put it on my jacket because the other one will flop around. The jacket will roll
There we go.
stably there.
Awesome.
All right.
We are good to go, guys.
Good to go.
I like your new setup with the phone holder. That works really good, it seems.
You never saw that before?
I think you had a different one. So here's two options. This is the one that Laura spruced up today, and then here's one that's been around.
Honk at the clothes.
Yeah.
I like this.
Yeah.
And
And we could take it off the backer board if it's too much. Cool. Yeah, thank you. Already getting the good honks, guys. All right, let
Got
me
some on.
so y'all can see them.
Hey, hey. Hey, Tori. Hey, Jay. Everybody's saying hi. Say hi to Jay. He's going to help me get this started tonight. All right. Good evening. Thank you guys for coming back. All right. Now let me show you the outside. Hey. Yes. Woo-hoo. You're live. I know. Hallelujah. This thing gives me a hard time all the time. This lady could honk. Woo-hoo. She doesn't look like it. Yeah. Where's Tom Cruise? Yeah. Hopefully not around here. Hey, hey! Thank you. And stay wherever you want. Hello, Queen Tori. Thank you. But I'll tell you one thing. If he's a Scientologist, he's failing utterly because he's hiding, and hiding is on the no to mystery scale that L. Ron Hubbard started. Hiding is at the bottom. So all these guys with all their lines pulled down, they're in hiding. So flunk Scientology. Epic fail, as Anonymous would say. There you go. Now, where did everybody go? That I never get. Oh, there you go. Hi. Awesome. You're looking gorgeous. Thanks. What location are you at? We're okay. Let me show you. Here we are. We're right on. Look at this, guys. There. See, that's AOLA. We're facing. So that's AO there. This is the parking lot where they have to park in there. They get in a van in there. They drive across this one street into AOLA. That's the true story. And then they pull into their parking lot next to it and let them out. So they can't see us at all. Which actually can't hide. That is at the bottom, which is still true. Yeah, they can't hide. That's right. That's good. Thank you. Good point. Fountain and LRH. That's right. And guess who got that street name? He was looking at her. Years ago, it was, I think, Ferrando. They wanted it L. Ron Hubbard Way, and they asked me to go do it with the audience. Yeah! Woo-hoo! That was good.
That'll wake you up, huh? Oh, shit. That was a good one.
That counted for about 10 honks. So you're near the area where the billboard, yeah, it's down the street a bit. Right about a block away was the cadet org, which was just this little stupid parking lot that all the children were locked in for years. And I would talk to the executives all the time and say, not okay. You know, they have to have more space. But anyway, that didn't work. But then right beyond that, at the back of the cadet org space, the parking lot was that billboard. And to Sophie too. Oh, good. The two mods are on here. All right. I love it. Beautiful evening. Hey, hey. There you go. I love it. Hi, Sophie. There you go. Hi there.
Oh, let me turn up the music.
Good to have you moderators here. Woo-hoo. Oh yeah, that's right. 'Cause you have to out. This is a weird thing. I don't know if you guys know about this with the sound. Do you know about it? Where if their sound comes into our YouTube thing, supposedly, I mean, this is in a parking lot, so they can't say they're interrupting their religious services when it's in a parking lot. Make that clear on your video.
Oh, they can hear you.
No, they can hear me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because I'm honest. That's right.
Yeah, because we're gonna be
So-
talking. I want them to be able to hear you.
Yeah, so this is a parking lot, and their whole the music sound thing. Hey,
Give us a little beep beep.
beep beep. Um, the whole thing was that we were interrupting their religious services. God forbid. It's so boring anyway. Matter.
It's Scientology.
Woo-hoo! Oh, there you go. But when it comes from a parking lot, they can't say we're interrupting their religious services. What, the cars that are parked in there? Give me a break. I'm watching Tory on my phone and Jay on my TV. Oh, how fun.
That is too fun.
That is fun. You guys are great.
Yeah, thank you all.
I'm watching you
guys.
from
It's everyone you all for tuning in and hanging out.
Roe Bridge, Louisiana. Wow, 2 hours west of New Orleans. Oh, how fun. Nice area.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for listening. I've been what a bozo. Here's the outside. There you go. Oh. What did they even do in their Sunday service? I actually started that, believe it or not, years ago in '79. I was trying to handle Clearwater. We moved to Clearwater. And one of the biggest complaints was they're not a religion. They don't look like one. They don't act like one. So I and some other people started the Sunday service. And basically I said, let's just have a potluck, so everybody brings food. Nobody has to pay for everything. I didn't want the church in on it at all, really. So we just had a potluck, and another lady came and she gave a great talk. I will say to this day, it's one of those that's really a cool talk. And unfortunately, it's not on the net. The net wasn't really happening in '79, but that's what happened. And that started Sunday service. And then from then on, they kind of just kept it up in Clearwater. And then they brought it to LA. And now because they've wanted to become a real religion for a long time. Now they're changing everything to, instead of members, they're parishioners, instead of orgs, they're churches, instead of tech, it's scripture.
Yeah.
Right. It's just bullshit.
Yeah.
What it is. They've got the cross. Here's their cross. Let me show you. Let me see if you can see it. Can't tell. I don't know how to get it so you can see it. Weird. I guess the light is too bright. Yes. Yeah. Woo! Woo! Why these people are very communicative around here. I think they're really sick of Scientology. Yes. Don't you think, Jay?
What's that?
Well, these people are very communicative around here.
Yeah,
I think they're really sick of Scientology.
there was one woman that pulled up and she was like, I appreciate y'all so much. It's like y'all are so great or something.
That's what happened in Hollywood. I told you all the businesses around them said, please come back again.
Yeah.
Please.
It's a good energy.
Yeah.
Even at 9 o'clock at night is still fun.
Yeah. Well, remember, I'm midnight with Magoo, so
yes.
I'm the night owl. That one does reflect, though. You're right. Did you put
let me show you-
reflector tape on it?
No, but let me show you a picture of the one I'm talking about.
You should have been there with Jay, with Laura FM. They're
Oh,
they were. I heard it. I watched it. That's why I came over here. I asked Jay if he was still going to be here because they said they were going to go to.
yeah. Thank you.
Wow!
Yeah.
Ah,
Thank you.
woo! Yeah, yes. Way to go! And
Yeah.
nice car too.
Sounds good, brother. Yeah.
Anyway, now I forgot what I was saying. Good evening, Your Royal
Oh,
Highness.
that you'd seen the streams and you'd asked if I was out here. So
What
that's
is it?
That you'd seen the streams of Laura
Oh yeah,
and how fun
yeah.
it
So
was.
I called Jay and asked if he was going to be here because if he was going to La Poubelle, I wasn't going to come. He said, "No, I'm here." I said, "All right, I'm on my way." But I did see them with everybody out in the street and everything like that. That's okay. They're still honking now. Not as many people, but we're still having fun.
Yes. You don't need 15 protesters all the time.
No, no.
Two works pretty
Two-
good.
two is
And you
really
know that sometimes you can even do with one.
Can I tell you about OT7? It's really the same as OT3. It's just a lot more drama and pretend secrecy and stuff like that. But the commands are actually, you know, locate a body Satan. Okay, who are you or what are you? I don't know. I can't remember it, but there are two stupid commands. And I went, this is it? I mean, you have to be invited onto the level. Your thing just fell down. You have to be invited onto the level. And that takes a while. Then you have to do OT6, which is the training for OT7. And then you get on OT7, and it's just, to me, it was nothing. I never had a win on it. Not one. Not nothing. It was just bullshit.
And that's like, is that kind of how you progress is by getting a win out of a level?
On it. And
So
then you
you
go
have-
to the next one, but it never fixes anything. So then you go to the registrar kind of secretively saying, look, this is between you and me. And you think you're the only one, right? And you
But it's
go,
the write-up.
this didn't work.
Yeah.
And they're like, I mean, it really starts at clear, where you go clear and you're supposed to get rid of all of your reactive mind and all your upsets and losses.
Yeah.
And, so, you go clear, you test to clear, and then the next day, whatever you have comes back. And so now it's a big secret because everyone's going like, God, Jay, you look fantastic. You went clear, right? And you're like, yeah. But now it's kind of a big withhold because you went clear, but you feel like shit. Right?
So that's even worse.
So it's even worse.
Then you should have just not even gone clear.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
should have been honest.
Oh, yeah. That's why I always tell people you're way better not going clear because it's really a rough road once you get
Right.
to that. So now you've got the big secret. You go to the reg and you say, look, I got to talk to you privately. This is confidential. And they go, okay. They play along on the whole thing. So then you go into a secret room and they say, look, I thought I was going to handle whatever. And now it's the same problem. It's bad. And they go, you're not alone. That's happened to a few people. And we have L. Ron Hubbard predicted it. So we have
Little beep beep on hump day.
beep beep. Hey, cute little dog.
Oh, that was a cute baby. So
You little thing.
yeah.
Thank you. Come on, you guys. Scientology is a public.
Oh yeah, we know y'all love us. Just show it a little bit.
Yeah. Woo!
So L. Ron Hubbard literally said that he predicted.
He
that
didn't
they-
say that. No, he
Okay.
didn't say that. I'm just saying
It's
the
general.
regs
Nice.
say we understand,
Yeah.
and there's a solution for it. And you
Yeah.
go, what is it? And they go, you really need OT4. And you're like, really? And they're like, oh yeah, that'll handle it. you're like-
I don't handle that.
And if you don't believe it, now they know all the people you respect and love.
Okay, so do you mind me like kind of pivoting and shifting from that point right there
No.
onto when you say handle it?
I know it's a weird thing, isn't it?
Generally, what are people having handled when they're going up the OT levels? Like, is it physical ailments and mental ailments? Or
Bit of both. It's a lot of it is, let's say, yeah, the general ones that people get into Scientology to handle are finances, relationships, communication. Those three things. Almost everybody has some kind of a button on one of those three things, or getting a job, just like basic
I see.
skills that people have trouble with in life.
Interesting stuff.
So that's it for a lot of it. Now you go clear and you think, okay, whatever you thought, let's say you can't make money, but now you're clear and you're going to be able to make money. Then you go out to get a job and nobody will hire you. And it's like, shit, this didn't work. I'm clear. What happened? You were the bee's knees. Thank you. So
Yeah.
so now got to remember where I was. I forget. Or somebody, one of the chat can remember.
Chat, where were we at?
Y'all at
Let's see.
midnight.
Yeah, let's see if y'all are paying attention,
Yeah,
chat.
see if you paid attention. Where were we at?
I'm trying to pull it.
I know Jay's trying to
I'm
get
trying
the
to
guys
pick it out
talking.
of right of there.
Tori, you're the bee's knees. Okay, so we were talking about clear.
Yes, I
and
know.
it doesn't work. And so then when it doesn't work, they have to cough it up to the reg. And the reg is, okay, you need OT4. And you said handled. That's what you said. Well, what does
Yes.
handled mean? So handled really means whatever you wanted to get rid of. See, handled, like they say, go out and handle the critics. That was for me to get rid of the critics, right? And I did a lot of times, not in a mean way. My thing was, like my two favorite ones. Did I tell you my ones? But your guys haven't heard it, so I'll tell them.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Let's go through it.
the two favorite ones that, this is like probably 10, 20 critics are outside Celebrity Center. And I was there. And Osa said, look, can you handle these guys? Can you try? And they had a big, back then, Xenu, XENU was a big top secret word. That's their big money maker from OT3 on. You learn about Xenu and that's it. So that's all the big money, right? Except now they have IAS and that's big donations too. That's a whole different thing. That's just giving money to the IAS,
Right.
which a lot of people think they're using it for tax exemptions. Uh-oh, you're going to hit my car. So,
Means that Xenu is a very top secret word, and you were.
and they had these leather. It was a cross, like see how let's see how see how this is a crosswalk, right?
Okay.
They had a Xenu leather sign that went all the way across like that.
A leather.
Leather, yellow with black letters.
Oh.
XENU.
That
Dot
sounds
net.
incredible.
That was Andreas. He made, so it was incredible. So these guys would take it out and they got it stretched out there. And O's is having a heart attack. It's like most of Scientology doesn't know what they've never heard the word Zenith.
Yeah.
To this day, the majority, if you think of a triangle, the only guys at the top triangle have heard of Zenith.
And that's probably what, like less than 5%.
Yeah, it's like a very small amount. The majority never. The Sea Org never. You know what I mean? Like I don't know now because of the internet. I
Yeah.
really don't. But back then it was really top secret.
Yeah.
So O's was like, you gotta get rid of it. Sign. You gotta handle it. So I said, okay, let me see what I can do. So I go out and I'm trying to talk to him. What's going on? And some of that's on the internet. You can see me out trying to handle the critics.
Yeah.
Hey.
Well, give us one.
And my thing is just to talk to him, right? And so finally I say to this one guy, look, did you ever have a birthday when you were a kid? Because they're all kind of really like, screw you, no, we're staying here. And so I said, did you ever have a birthday party when you were a kid? And he goes, yeah. And I said, okay, I'm going to ask you a question and I want you to think about it really and tell me an honest answer. And I said, what if somebody was protesting out in front of your house with a sign that said your mother's a whore? Would that affect you as a little kid with your birthday party, do you think, at all? And he goes, yeah, it would. And I said, well, that's kind of how that sign is for us. I'm not going to explain it to you why, but it's sort of the same kind of thing where it's just really bumming out our party. So if you could just, wrap it up, it would be really great. And he looks at his friend. As soon as he thought of the birthday party, he goes, "You know what? Wrap it up. We're going." It's just like pack it up. We're going home.
You know what? We're done. Let's
Yeah,
go.
that was it. And I go back in, and Osa said, "What did you do?" Because all these people, they roll up the sign, they pack up, they all walk off, and Osa's like, "What did you do?" And I said, they really are just people. That's all they are. They're people
Right.
with a different viewpoint than you have. That's all. They're not like monsters or evil people or anything. They're just people with a different viewpoint.
And that is actually taught within that we are monsters. So anybody who is not supporting the cause is
From
against
day
the cause.
one. Oh, they're us versus them from day one when you come in.
Beep beep.
That's part of how they get people in. They go, these guys are the wrong side that you're on. And you're like, what are you talking about? Because you don't know us versus them. And they're like, look, these guys are, and they rattle off they're evil, they're this, all they care about is that, that. And you're like, really? And they're like, oh, hell yeah. Yeah, that's why we call them wogs, because they're not Scientologists, they're wogs. And I never liked that. I never did. It turned out it's a racist term from Africa.
Really?
A really creepy term.
I don't think I've ever heard of that.
Hubbard said, really? Hubbard said it stood for wise old gentleman, which is a total bullshit thing. And Africa, it's like the N-word kind of thing.
Oh no.
Yeah. So,
Beep, beep.
but they're always saying, oh, Jay works for these wogs. Tori, sure, she's married to a wog. It's just sort of like, and
That's
they're
their
just
go-to.
nothing because they're wogs. That's it. They're nothing. So it's very icky.
That is.
Okay, so that's one of them. The other one, that's my favorite one that I wrote up to Mike Rinder when he was still in and I was out. Woohoo!
Thank you.
And somewhere in California, they were passing a law. You should turn it to Scientology as a cult.
Oh. Yeah.
They're not going to look anyway.
Yeah, no.
Um,
So the second one you had submitted to Rinder.
Rinder is in Scientology, and I go up to a psychologist gets on the radio, and I was listening to psychologists at the time while I was in Scientology, and she said, "Look, they're passing a law that children that are in high school can now go get an abortion through the high school, and without telling their parents ever."
Honk honk. Yeah, thank you, ladies.
Ah!
So kids are now allowed to receive.
They were passing that law.
Wow.
I just went down a rabbit hole and found his stuff. He's sent to the FBI already. Woo!
Yeah.
Right. So,
Hey there, Mercury Gold. Good to see you.
so I'm listening to her on the radio, and she says, "Look, any parents out there, you've got to go up to Sacramento and talk to the government and tell them, don't do this. This is bad." And I agreed. I just thought, I'm not anti-abortion, but I'm anti-kids getting it without telling your parents.
Yeah.
It's just sort of like, come on, that's a bit much.
Yeah.
And so we go up there and we talk to him, and then we're on our way home, and my hair was kind of dirty and a mess, and we went by a hairdresser's place, and I said, I'm just going to jump in and get my hair washed. So this lady washes my hair, and I said, honestly, we have to get on a plane to go back to LA. I don't have time to blow dry it. My hair is really thick, so it would take a long time to blow dry it, right? And so, woohoo! I'm going to show him my hair. It's thick. So I said, I don't have time to blow dry my hair, but could you wash it? So she goes, okay. So she washes it. And now I say to my friend, hey, let's go by the Scientology org up here. Or it's a mission at the time. I said, let's go by the Sacramento mission. I've never seen it. So we go inside. Well, first of all, there's these two guys outside. One has a Xenu doll like you had the other day. Yes, only it's a big one. It's a full 6-foot Xenu doll.
Yeah.
He's walking back and forth with that. And the other one has a sign against Scientology. So it's two guys. That's it. And we walk, and it's nothing to me. I've been out talking to these 20, 30 critics, handling them. So what's two guys? It's nothing. So I walk in. It's not like it's nothing. but it didn't scare me. You see what I
Right.
mean?
You faced other challenges
Yeah.
that much more formidable.
Much more. Yoo-hoo!
So it was pretty much an inflatable Xenu that was life size almost.
Yeah.
So
And so I go inside and the whole org is hiding in a corner. They're all like down, like, so they don't want to look out the window. They're all like hiding. And I'm like, what is going on? I mean, to me, it was like very foreign, right? And this one guy stands up and he goes, "Oh my God, Tori's here. I'm from LA. And if she'll do it, she can probably handle this." So I said, "Well,
yeah.
I'll give it a shot. I'll give it my best shot." And so I go out and I say to the guy, and I think of this is the window, and then there's the guy walking along the window, and then I'm in, near the street. So if I look, I see my reflection in the window, right? And my hair looks like shit because they didn't blow dry it, right? So it looks really creepy. And I'm walking along asking, "What do you know about Scientology?" And he won't talk to me. Just walking along, and he's just walking along, and he won't talk to me. It's just that, they're as bad as Scientology is now. They were back then.
Who being?
The critics, where they wouldn't talk to Scientologists. 'Cause God forbid, we might brainwash them or something. It was really freaky.
They were afraid of y'all. So
Yeah, they were afraid of us. So he won't say anything, and he's just marching along. And finally, I say, "Hey, hey."
How y'all doing?
So finally, I say, "Can I ask you a question?" He's walking along, and I look in the window, and my hair looks like really crappy. And I say, "Can I ask you a personal question? I mean, how do you like my hair?" And he won't say anything, and he just keeps marching along. And I say, "Look, man, I mean it. I want you to really just look at my hair and tell me honestly what you think of my hair. Do you think I cut it too short?" Because she trimmed it up a bit. And I said, "Do you think it's too short or not? Could you just look at it and see it?" All of a sudden, he just burst out laughing. He goes, "My mom always asks me that question, and I never know what to say." He
Oh.
looks at his friend and he goes, "You know what? Let's go home." That's it. And they
Yeah.
pack up and they leave. And again, the same thing happens. I walk in and they go, "What did you say?" And I said, "Honestly, I just asked him, how do you like my hair?" So I wrote that up to Mike Rinder when I left Scientology. The day before I left, I wrote him and said, "My best OSA handling was just asking a guy, how do you like my hair?" I mean, it was the fastest, quickest where a guy left. You know what I mean? And it was like,
Just because you're able to,
woo!
it seems like both of those would be a simple point of connecting deeply with somebody. Kind of like, relating, having extending a opportunity to relate to somebody.
Right.
That's
And
what I see.
that's it. See, that's what the guy that started my waking up asked me. And I always tell people this story because I was out handling the critics and they were all yelling, "L. Ron Hubbard's a liar, Scientology's a cult, this and that, and I never heard any of that. It was like plexiglass. I never heard any of it. And then finally this one guy came in and he goes, "Can I just ask you a question?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "If you're free, why can't you read certain books?" And he asked it like really nicely. It wasn't like, "Why can't you read certain books?"
Yeah, like a genuine question.
Yeah, it was a genuine question.
And you could hear it in his voice.
And I could hear it. Because voices are like music.
Right.
So if you have the right music, it goes to your heart.
I like that, Tory.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Chat, write it down. We'll put it on the quote list.
Put it on the quote list. Voices are like music. And if you say it nicely enough, it goes into your heart. Because you can't get into their heads, but you can get into their heart. So that's why I always say play music. And Anonymous was always playing music and shit like that because you never know what music might get to them.
Right.
And so now I forgot what it was.
We were talking about how it's about connecting deeply and being genuine with your voice.
Oh, and the guy came up to me and said, "If you're free, why can't you read certain books?" And I said, "Well, I can read anything I want. There's certain books I don't want to read," which there were only 3 books out there against Scientology: Dear Feist Messiah, Madman or Messiah, and A Piece of Blue Sky. That was it. Those are the three main books for years and years and years. Until really, I think when Anonymous hit in 2008, that's when people really, I mean, Paula Cooper had written a book, so there was that book. There were a few books, but the three main books that Scientology was like, don't ever read these books, ever. They're really evil people that wrote them. And
But generally speaking, you would be able to read mostly any other thing, or not?
read what?
Was it as literal as you not being able to read like a Stephen King novel, or is it just that you weren't able to read certain materials?
Well, those books were directly exposing Hubbard.
Right, so they were off limits.
Yeah, they were off limits.
They literally said or instructed that these are not good books.
And there was a guy in Clearwater that came out with this book that was just sort of like a Stephen King novel, but it was I never.
Yeah, thank you. Happy hump day.
Thank you. I bought it. I was going to read it. Hey, how you doing?
You good yourself?
Good. I bought it, and then Osa came around and said, no, we're getting rid of every one of them. We're gathering them up. Nobody's supposed to read this. And it was a fiction book.
And it was what was it? Steve, you said it was what?
It wasn't Stephen King, but it was a fiction book. It wasn't like these other ones were factual information about Hubbard, Scientology, all the lies, and Hubbard says he's this, and here's the facts, and they they really show it. It's amazing. So anyway, that guy kept asking me. He'd come back and he'd say, okay. And everybody's still screaming all their stuff about how bad Scientology is. And he'd come back to me and he'd say, just ask me this again. And I'd say, okay, what's up? And they'd say, well, if you're free, why can't you read certain books? Right? So again, it's the same question. And again, honestly wanting to know. And I'd say, like I said, I can, I just don't want to. I read all kinds of books. I just don't read those books. And I think he said it 3 times. And I went home and went to bed. And in my bedroom, I had a picture above my door of 4 Dalmatians. The Dalmatians are black and white. And one had a pink collar around it. And underneath it, it said, dare to be different in pink. And I laid in bed and I thought, you know what? I'm about as different as a rock. Because of what that guy said. See, all because of one man.
Right.
It wasn't thousands of people. Do you know what I mean? It was one guy.
You had the opportunity to connect with one person. So that just goes to show how important each voice is.
That's what I'm saying. Every voice matters.
Yeah, because you're going to speak to a different ear, and that ear isn't going to listen to everybody.
Yeah.
But they just might listen.
I mean, there were hundreds of people that were yelling at me, and I heard nothing of what they said.
Right.
But that one guy, amongst the 100 people, really sincerely wanted to know why, if you're free, why can't you read these books?
Yeah.
And it was a really good question. It really is. But you have to really want the answer. You see what I mean? I could feel he really wanted an answer. It wasn't just making me wrong.
Right. Like he was extending an opportunity for you to see. Yes. To think is a better way to put it.
They really stopped thinking. That's one of their big abuses, is they stop you from thinking.
Right.
And they really stop critical thinking. So, you can only think with the tech. And I know people that are ex-Scientologists to this day who, they're there. A lot of them.
So there's pretty much tech for each situation that you would encounter.
I probably had tech for everything, including cleaning.
Oh my God.
Sea Org guys are the greatest to have over for cleaning. Because they're cleaning freaks.
You invite an org over and you're going to have a clean house after? Guys,
a Sea Org member.
Anybody with any orgs like to go out for lunch? Hang out on my little nest. Would you like me to grab your water? Because I'm thinking it might be.
Do you want one?
I'm kind of down for a water. I haven't had one for quite a minute.
Yeah. All right. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna chat. We'll be right back. Okay. Maybe we'll talk about some funky tech that other like cleaning. That's a funny one.
What is it?
Funky tech.
Funky tech?
Yeah, if you can think of any funky tech, I don't know.
I'll think of it. I'll tell you guys one thing while Jay's gone. This is kind of a funny one. I think I might have told him this. Oh, come on, you guys, huh? Um, um, okay. Well, I better wait because I don't know if he did hear it. If he's going to hear it too. I don't get why I can't get the sign over here though. Let's see. Oh, I see. Maybe that's it. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. No, I see. I see. I see. Okay, that's why you can't see it because it's over there. There it is, a giant sign. Woo! The blow drill. I love that you participate in. Ooh. Oh, this is someone called blow drill. You're talking of blow drill. I love that you're participating in so many streams. Your input, ooh, is so special and helpful. That's nice. Rainbow vacuums are the only blue vacuums in the Sea Org. Wow, interesting blow drill. The blow drill just said the only, thank you, the only vacuums in the Sea Org that are approved are the rainbow vacuum. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's called a rainbow vacuum. It's just a type of vacuum, but they're so fanatical on stuff. Okay, so I was going to tell you, this is a funky thing. It's not really a piece of tech, but it was something we had to do. Okay, so I'm on OT7, and if you don't want to hear this, you don't have to.
Currently, guys. So
No, you. No, I'm saying you, Jay. If you don't, it's just sort of a technical thing. But
well, I would love to have.
Okay, that's why I was going to tell them while you were gone that one
No,
I want to hear.
Yeah, no, I do. I want to know if you're okay with me playing some tunes. So
No, it's fine.
to kind of like help
Yeah.
counteract. Yeah, so we're just gonna have some.
You got to play the tunes.
We're gonna play some lo-fi beats.
Hey, Dylan. Where is he?
So I think that's gonna.
Oh, Dylan, you're blow drill. No wonder. Oh, yeah, you're fantastic. He's one of my favorite.
That's una secta, Tita.
Woo!
Yeah. Beep
Beep, beep.
beep. Give us a little toot. We got.
These guys with their beat it. This is stupid.
I know. It's
In the garage.
I know.
Dylan, they have this thing where we can't play the music because it'll go on the YouTube thing. And it might interrupt their what do they call them?
what are they calling it?
Services.
What are they calling it nowadays?
Parishioner services or whatever. Anyway, this is out of the garage. So how are we interrupting that? I'm new to your channel. I was in Jay's channel, but I was going to ask you what I lost her. If you want food at the building late at night, you can get food, or I was just thinking about it. LOL. Okay, that's from Tanya.
Tanya.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, Tanya. I'm not following. It sounds like
I guess if we want food,
if we want food. I mean,
Jay needs food.
Are you trying to light my face on fire with a smile? Like, I love food. Anybody that knows me, I absolutely love food. My last meal was around 1 or so.
Well, we know we can get food.
I mean, I know I'm gonna grab food at a certain point, but yeah.
Okay, it used to be Cedars of Lebanon Hospital. That's right. Okay, so I'm going to tell them, Dylan, about OT7 getting onto OT7.
Okay.
If they want to hear it. If they don't, they can talk to Dylan. Dylan's got great stories too. But this is a good story. So, okay, in order to get into the course room of OT7, I mean, first of all, they'd redone the sandcastle, so they renovated it. And we see these people with security badges on. We go, well, where did you get those? And we went up to security. So we all run up to security and we say, well, we're on OT7. We need a badge. And they go, okay. And they give us these badges. So now we come down and the executives have a fucking heart attack. They're like, where did you get those badges? And we said, we just went up to security and asked them. And they go, no, there's a whole routing form and all these things you have to get okayed on. And before you can have the security badge.
And
right?
this is just to get into the auditorium.
This is just to get into the HTC, which is where you get audited.
Okay.
You know, where you sign in to get audited. So it's like a lobby.
God.
This is just to be in the lobby, right?
Jesus.
For OT7. So, but we already all got our security badges and it was like too late. So it was just funny that they had this nuclear attack. Sorry.
You're good.
I don't know why I have a scratchy thing.
I'm guessing that the executives were upset because you were saying that there was a whole routing form and there was a process
There's a
that
little process to make sure you are supposed to be on OT7.
I see.
Right. Okay, so
It's
now
more easy.
we're going. Then you have to do a course on how to open a book, right? This is before you even get on in the OT7 course. Dude,
Well,
you
how you
just come
doing?
back. You already went. You went around the block.
Nah, I just walked back to the stove.
Oh, cool.
You have a good one, man.
Cool.
I'm going though.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Cool. So, you have to do a course on how to open the pack and how not to. Like, they don't want it cracked open. You know how a book you can crack it open.
No.
Well, yeah, you take a book, you just crack it open. Some
Oh,
people
I
do.
see. That
They
makes
don't
sense.
want it like that. They
I see.
want you to just carefully open it and turn each page. You know,
Goodness,
there's a whole drill on this whole thing just to open the fucking course pack. So
Yeah. It's like with gentle hands, grab.
and you have to get checked out on it. And if you're not checked out, you're flunked, and you have to go back and start the whole thing over. Okay, so there's that. So now we got to get in the course room. And there's a whole hat right up on how to get in the course room. And this is something that I learned there. It's one of the few things in Scientology I learned. It's that. Wait. I used to be able to whistle.
Are you trying to communicate with us? Are y'all turning into sirens? Are you crying for help? Because we can help you.
Yeah, we can help you. Come on out.
As soon as you're ready to leave, we'll welcome you with open arms.
We won't bite you or anything.
Yeah, we're pretty nice.
Yeah, come on out. Okay, so now
After you
now I'm
learn
going
how
to
to
show them
open
because they got to see what I'm doing. So they teach you, like if you go to a keypad, right? Let's say this is a keypad. You have to cover the keypad so no one can see any of the numbers. Are you with me?
Yes.
And so now you've got to press your keypad numbers to get in. But if anybody sees any of those numbers that's out in the lobby, they write you up. And now you've got to go to ethics. You're thrown out of the level. You got to do lower conditions and work all the way back up, right? So this is just to get into the one hall. You're not even in the courtroom. This is into the hall to get into the courtroom, right? This is how insane it is.
Jeez.
So you do that and okay, I got everything, but I still use that to this day. I mean, because a lot of people go like this, they go, you know, and it's like anybody can copy it and, you know, you steal your wallet and now they've got your password, you know, whatever.
Right.
So I still use that. But anyway, there's that. Now you have to get into the courtroom by a certain amount of time. I mean, into the hall. You have to get into the hall by a certain amount of time. So we all blast in, you know, you put your number in, you get in, now you're in the hall. And a few other people come in the hall. Now we've got to wait till there's a green light. And this took forever. Forever they didn't have lights. And I kept saying, why don't you just have a red light, green light? And then when the green light comes on, we know to go into the course room. But they wouldn't do that. So they just had this like beep. And then everyone has to get inside the course room. And if you don't get in time, you have to go all the way back outside and start the whole fucking thing again. Everybody has to go out because you screwed up.
Like
You
as
know,
a group. It's
Yeah,
a
it's
group
like you're like a team and you got to make it in together.
Oh my
You
God.
know, it's totally insane. So it gets even worse. So now let's say you make it in the hall. Now you got to make it into the course room with the group. And it's like, all right, everybody ready? Okay, now it's a green light, go. Everybody, we get inside. Now you've got to go get your course pack. And that also is time. And if you don't get your course pack fast enough, these alarms go off and everyone in the course room is thrown out of the course room. And everyone has to restart the whole fucking process again. I mean, it's totally insanity.
Okay, so it sounds like you have a lot of, obviously, you've been through the process. How many times, if you don't mind me interrupting you at this point, I'm sorry, but I'm curious, how many times did you actually see that happen? Like where y'all had to restart the process?
Too many.
Too many.
I mean, it was awful. It was awful. I mean,
Oh
I
my
was the
God.
one who finally said, look, get a fucking red and green light.
That
So
sounds like
we know, okay, it's green light, go. You know what I mean?
you lost the good one, Scientology.
But that took a couple years to get that going. I was on it for 7 years. But I wasn't on the course for 7 years. I was on the level for 7 years. But on the course, I was on it for probably a year, or maybe, I don't know, 6, 8 months. But anyway, now you're inside, and the guy that owns and runs the course packs, you have to wait. Are you done?
Yes, I'm sorry. So now we're inside the course room, and the guy that runs and owns.
Runs? Well, he's in charge of the course packs.
Okay, I understand what that would be now. So
All the course packs are locked inside of a file cabinet. They're
okay,
locked inside of so he has to unlock them, give it to you, and you have to get to the desk and plug it in, or all the alarms go off and everybody has to leave.
no way.
Yeah, true story.
So there's actually like, and so these are the buildings that are these the buildings that you learned at
No, it's at the Sandcastle in Clearwater.
Oh, okay, that's where you.
Yeah.
So it's like are any of the other levels structured that way, or is it just OT7 without
7.
alarms go off?
Yeah, no other one.
Interesting.
It's really, they
Sounds
really,
like a gimmick that they've implemented.
I know it's really, but it did make it really important. You know what I mean? And this is one of my favorite things. There's a real old guy that was on OT7. And, of course, he didn't have any friends. He didn't know anybody. And I see him outside. There were some ducks and a little pond and stuff. And he's out there and he's smoking a cigarette. And so I always tried to make friends with people. So I go over to him and I go, hey, man, what's happening? He says this to me. I apologize to the chat for me having my scratchy voice. But he goes like this, and he takes a big deep breath and he goes, let's just say you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Jesus.
It was just like he
man.
wasn't going to do it. It was just like, no, this is too weird. He had enough. So he was out there like, oh.
And that was in response to
I think all the having to get in and
drilling,
get out.
like
I mean, it doesn't. Plus, you had to, by the time you had to get the pack that's locked by an old man that's getting it. So he's not like Mr. Lickety Sklid. Like, oh, Tory, let me get you one. Here you go.
oh hell
He's
no.
gonna unplug it. Here's your pack. Now you have to go over and get dictionaries because you can't just go to the desk. If you want a dictionary, which you have to have a dictionary in Scientology, you have to go get the dictionary and the pack and get it plugged in and pull your chair in before the alarms go off. It's insane.
That is actually
I mean, it's totally insane.
So
be glad you didn't ever do OT7.
chat, be thankful.
That's my message. Be thankful.
What is now? I'm curious.
Let me just say that my family stayed at the Sandcastle before. Ooh, all right. They bought it. Blow drill, physically and mentally, I bet. Okay. I don't know what blow drill said. I missed it. I cleaned the Sandcastle when I was on the ETF. The OTs were pretty messy people.
The OTs are pretty messy people.
But remember, I told you, Sea Org.
Yeah. So, if you had to speculate as to why people show up at this hour, what would be your best guess? People all into like one.
I know. I really don't understand what they're doing. I don't.
Right.
I mean, because courses used to end at like, I think 9:30 or 10. That was it. And so I guess they could have cleaning people come in. Like he's saying, he used to clean the sandcastle.
That
So they've
makes
got to have some cleaning people who probably sleep in the day and then they come in at night.
Yes. I can see that.
And it's a
sure.
big building. I mean, when you think of all the different buildings, and they are into being clean, really clean. So
Yeah, I remember when I was at the Denver Ideal Org, they had white gloves in the
Right.
purification run
Right.
room.
Right.
When he was a woman of age, like much older woman, and yeah, it was always odd because it seemed like it didn't necessarily need to be clean, but
No.
she was still cleaning.
I know white glove is very weird. It's where they actually wear white gloves, and there's these guys that come around and swipe and check if there's any dust, and if there is,
God.
then it's a flunk, and you have to go and clean everything again.
So the guys that would go and check, they would be in some sort of like higher. There's
We
a
thought so. I don't know.
yeah,
I
okay,
really don't. I thought they were. They acted like they were.
right.
And then they'd have. Then this was even a better one. We were at CC, which was sort of a cool org. And then they say the flag guys are coming for white glove, and and it was unbelievable to watch these guys change from whatever they did every day to like, oh my God. And they were like
The brooms and mops.
the fruits and
The
pots and
blind
the
and
blinds and I mean everything. The whole place looked
Hey there.
pristine. Hi, looked pristine cool afterwards. But it was sort of hypocritical because it was basically filthy in their minds. You know what I mean? And then why not keep it clean like that? But they'd only do it when the flag guys came.
interesting. It so like
Everybody had to be totally on post and everything right.
send emergency staffing so we look busy and
Oh, yeah.
we need
Yeah, yeah.
Publix now. So,
Right. Yeah.
like so that's crazy. Actually,
Yeah, that's probably when I first met my husband. I think I told you this. I was at the student hat at the LA org, way down by 8th Street. And now, it used to be there. Now it's on here on L on Upper Way. And so
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
they didn't own all this. So it was all down on 8th Street. Celebrity Center was
Around
down
what
there.
year was it that all transitioned
It
over?
was like early 70s to I think the mid 70s.
Because I've had
when they
people
bought
ask
CC.
me when
Huh?
I've had people ask me when this had started. So it was around the early 70s or so on this side.
I'm not sure when I think it was the mid 70s, but we can
Okay.
ask. We can look it up on Google because it's just the Cedars of Lebanon. When Dylan will know. Dylan, when was the complex bought? Oh, Dylan. No
Yeah.
drill.
We're looking for some answers. Hope we
Tory.
want a blow drill.
No drill. When the sandcastle was just being cleaned, someone opened up all the exterior windows and room door while running the room's air conditioning, which caused the humidity to flood the carpeting. Ooh, no, boy, should we get in trouble for that. Yeah. Now, what was it? It's very sad, isn't it? That's a clean street. Well, anyway, Dylan, do you know when the complex was bought? The guys who check White Glove are an HCO and are ethics officers. So they're like the ethics people, but so they're very like they're gonna really your ethics are out. They're filthy.
It's
know.
their post to make sure others are falling in line with the requirement.
Right.
Interesting.
Thank you, Bill.
So of the LA org, and you referenced it as CC, which is like what when it trend what is that like CC?
What Celebrity Center?
Okay, Celebrity Center LA org. No, that makes sense.
No, it's not. It's not Celebrity Center LA org. They were all down there. AOLA, which is right there, was down on around 8th Street.
I'm following.
They're really divey areas around MacArthur Park. And it was a super divey area then. But they started Celebrity Center there and they had AOLA, LA org. sorry,
You're good.
Asheville was up on Temple, which is kind of around here. It's a little bit over that way, but it's not too far from here. So it was one of the ones that was sort of closer to this.
Nice.
All the rest of them were down by A Street. So anyway, I'm on course at LA Org, and Bill Franks comes in, who just passed away last year. And he comes in and he's all in black, he's like in a Sea Org outfit, and he's got these gold things, he looks like, a really
Like an
important
officer.
person, right?
Like, yeah.
Yeah, like an officer. And he's like, all right, everyone is staying all night. Because, remember their stats end Thursday at 2. And this was Wednesday night. So he said, and let's say a check sheet is like this. I had done like this much of my check sheet. And I'm not real fast. And he wanted us to finish it.
Like,
I got it. He wanted us to finish it by Thursday at 2. We were going to stay all night long.
okay, so the
And because I have epilepsy and I take medicine, and at that point, now I always carry medicine with me for that reason. But at the time, I didn't have medicine with me, and I
Right.
freaked out, and I was about ready to jump out the windows. I was like really freaked out about it because it's no fun having a grand mal seizure. And I said, I can't do this. And I didn't know my husband at the time. His name was Harold, and he was twinning with me, so he was checking me out and stuff like that. We were going through this thing together. And I said, look, I can't do this. I can't stay there till midnight. And he goes, all right, hang on. And he gets up. Now remember, he got in, his parents got him in 1950. He met Hubbard in 1950 when he was 5 or 4 or something like that. He was a young man. He met him. So he sort of had a different view. He was never into the Sea Org, Miscavige, any of that stuff. It was like, screw these guys. So now this guy comes in, he's Mr. I'm everything, you guys are staying all night. And Harold gets up and he goes up to the supervisor and he comes back and he goes, all right, let's go. And I go, really? And I don't even know this guy. And remember, I'm like a real true believer. He's not. He was in that, I'm with L. Ron Hubbard. That's it.
right.
The rest of this stuff is smoke and mirrors. That's the way. And his mother paid for his whole bridge. So he never bought anything except for
Right.
books. It really wasn't his game. He
Interesting.
unfortunately married me, and so it became his game because I was a big fanatic.
right.
But anyway, so I'm like, really? We can leave? And he goes, yeah, come on. So we get outside, and I go, what happened? And he goes, look, it's out back. I just told him my twin is hungry, and it's out tech to study when somebody's hungry, which it is. They always check, have you had enough to eat? Have you had enough sleep for an auditing session? Kind of thing.
So can we? I want to put my memory note on this because I want to ask this man if he's a resource guy. So
Okay.
we're talking about the checklist and the book.
In the bag. That's nice. Wait, let me show you. He does, it's really cool. He's got these bags and he gives them out to homeless people. I love that. So great. I don't know if you can see him. He's an older man. Oh, maybe he's a Scientologist. I don't know. Yeah, I guess he's not going to take it. Huh. Well, he tried. He offered it to him. Oh, sorry, chat. Sorry.
Sorry, Tori.
What
Oh
happened?
no, he's gonna be back. He needed to drop off what he had in his hands.
Oh,
So
did you get the bag?
he wanted. I think he was a little overwhelmed with what he was carrying, so he asked if he could come back, and I said yes.
Okay.
But we were talking about when Harold, right?
Oh yeah. So Harold said, "Come on outside." We get outside, and I said, "What's going on?" Because to me, if an executive says you're staying all night, you have to. But so Harold went up and talked to the supervisor, and he goes, "All right, come on outside." And I said, "What's going on?" And he said, "I just told him my twin is hungry, and it's out tech to train over being hungry." So I'm going to go get her something to eat and then we'll be back.
That was a brilliant idea.
It was brilliant. So
Because
I'm like, oh my God, I would have never thought of that.
yeah,
So now we go to Astroburger and I love hamburgers. I'm just a big hamburger freak.
I am a fanatic as well.
Yeah. And so Astroburger has great hamburgers. So we're sitting there and I'm just like, I'm in love. I love hamburgers. And Harold's really funny. So, you know, I'm laughing. It's like the opposite of Scientology, right?
Right.
And I think I love this guy.
Oh,
He's so great.
that was the
And that's
moment,
really when
yeah.
I fell in love with him.
That is awesome. That's actually a beautiful story because he utilized, it against him to be able to get you that opportunity you need in the moment.
But I don't even think at the moment he thought, well, I'll get her. You know, he was just really genuinely interested. So now we finish having the hamburger, and me being the true believer, think, well, we've got to go back. The guy ordered us.
Yeah.
Right? So that's in my head. And so we both lived at Celebrity Center at the Manor Hotel then. It wasn't quite CC yet. And so, but it was the Manor Hotel. It was the same hotel, it just was the Manor Hotel. And we lived on the 5th floor, and I think the Guardian's office was there on the 5th floor. And he had his own room and I had a dorm with some other women. So I say, now what are we going to do? Because I'm thinking we have to go back and stay all night, right? And he goes, we're going home. It's out tech. I said, really? And he goes, yeah, it's out tech to make somebody stay all night and study. And that was Harold. He was so great.
Yeah.
You know, because he could think. You know what I mean? He never lost his critical mind.
That is awesome.
He really didn't.
Yeah, he wasn't like dependent on the tech.
No.
He had his critical mind all the time.
Yeah. You know, but it was like, it wasn't his thing.
Yeah.
And one of the auditors at Flag came up to me. I'll never forget this because I know her son. She passed away now. But she came up to me at Flag and she said, you know, I've audited your mother-in-law and I've heard her side of the story. And I've audited your husband and I've heard his side of the story. So now I need to hear your side of the story. And then she died. So for years I've been like, what was that about? Right? His side. And later I think, this is what I think, because she only planned on sending him out here to do one thing, and then he was going to go back to Chicago. And he loved Chicago and she loved Chicago. And their family's in Chicago. So it was kind of like, he wasn't really a Scientologist. You know what I mean? It wasn't his thing at all.
Mhm.
She kept paying for him to go up the bridge
I see.
because only she and her husband liked Scientology. She had 3 kids, but Harold was the only one that went along with it. The other 2 said, screw this. No. And then the one brother had 4 kids, and all 4 kids said, no, screw it. We don't want to have anything to do with Scientology. They're firefighters in Chicago. They're really cool people.
That is actually
Yeah,
cool.
it's really cool. So, but they didn't want to have anything to do with Scientology. So now I forgot where I was. See, I get around on these things and then I'm like, what was I talking about? It was like Harold and Chicago. I forget it now. Let me ask the chat, see if they remember. You
Chat.
guys remember?
Chat.
I just need one word.
Hey, Joe.
We need one word, just one word of what I was talking about. They're probably not even listening. I don't think they're listening.
Chat. Is this thing on? Are y'all listening to
Yeah, I don't think they are. I really don't. These guys are talking to Dylan, so I don't really think they care about. Just think of this. Rest in peace. Okay, Tori, you and Jay have that chemistry. I love it. Dude,
That's too fun.
we do have a chemistry. All right.
She was talking about her mother-in-law and Harold.
Oh yeah.
She was talking about
Her side and his side and your side. Okay. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yes.
That's where. Thank you. That's what it was. Thank you for remembering that. That's what it was. Both of you. Thank
Yes, y'all are awesome,
Yeah,
guys.
so-
Everybody.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So Okay, so the mother-in-law said, or the auditor said, I bought it at your mother-in-law, I bought it at Harold, but now I need to find out your side. And I think what it was is she meant to send out Harold just to do one thing and come back. And he met me, and we got married 4 months after we got met. He saved me from the LA Org thing, and I fell in love with him, and we got
Yeah.
married. But I think later, because I knew years later, we gave birth to my son. We both loved Justin. It was, that was like a highlight for both of us. But we would sit around the table, and I would say, okay, tell me your favorite pleasure moment, which is a Scientology thing. I don't know if it's a regular thing or not, but they call it a pleasure moment. Some moment of pleasure or happiness.
Right.
And all of ours were around here, our friends, different things we'd done. Justin and I'd go to SeaWorld, just stuff like that, right? Harold had nothing from LA, nothing. Everything was back in Chicago when he got out of college with his college friends. And that's when I started to realize that our friends are not his friends. They are, but not really. You see what I mean? They're really my friends. And he's with us,
Oh, okay.
but they're not his
I-
real
I-
friends
I-
are Chicago.
I know what you mean. I've seen that firsthand.
So I think what the auditor probably is saying was like, what do you have upset with? And the mother-in-law probably said him marrying Tory and ending up staying in LA because she wanted her son near her, of course. And he was the only kid that she had that loved her, that didn't hate Scientology.
She did it to herself.
Pardon me?
She did it to herself.
Because
His mother, by wanted him to be involved at all. He had the opportunity really to fall in love with you. So that was the thing that she had revealed to the auditor, as far as her biggest regret.
I think was that he stayed here and fell in love with me.
Right.
And then I think Harold probably was like, yeah, I really didn't really want to stay here either. But I fell in love with Tori.
Yes. Yeah.
And there you go. So she wanted to hear my side, which would have been, hey, I fell in love with the guy, saved me, that's it. We've had a great marriage. I think it's fine.
Yeah.
But I later I had to think about it and think, as a mother, I could see where, and especially because the other two kids hated Scientology and their whole life was Scientology. I mean, the dad had a business, so they did have that, but their big passion was Scientology. And LRH mentions them on some tapes. He says hello to Wing and Smokey Angel and Flo and Paul Pizazian, which was their last name. And Flo wrote him and said, why did you mention us? There were so many people there. And he said, because you kept Scientology alive in Chicago. So it was a big deal for them.
Right.
But they had great stories. It was like they would have like L. Ron Hubbard Day, and I would say, Flo is here. Why don't you interview her? But because she was in a wheelchair towards the end, they wouldn't. It's like, people say who is it? Truman was in a wheelchair. If there were televisions, Truman would have never been president because he was in a wheelchair.
I see.
Right? But there weren't television then.
Right.
So nobody could see him.
Interesting.
I mean, they had photographs of him, but it was just from the up, from here up.
Right. That's kind of cool.
But Scientology was really, like they had great old stories. One of them, this is a really fun one. Harold went to get some auditing, and he had a secret that he was smoking. And the guy that owned the mission was named Maury LaRue, and he was a friend of his parents. And so Maury's on the meter, and he goes, "Okay, something's reading here. What aren't you telling me?" And he goes, "Nothing. I'm not telling you anything. I'm not telling you anything. There's nothing wrong.
No withholds.
Yeah, there's no withholds." But he keeps at it. I don't know. Something's reading here, Harold. What is it? Why aren't you telling me? He goes, fuck this. I don't want to do it. And he leaves. He goes to walk out. And the guy that owned the mission goes, "Pizazian, where are you going?" And he goes, "I don't want to do this anymore." And he goes, "All right, then get the hell out of here." And he goes, "I don't have to get the hell out of here." He goes, "Then get the hell back in session."
Oh my goodness.
That was the old days. You know what I mean?
So it was a lot more.
They went back in session and lit up cigarettes. He told Maury that I smoke, and Maury lit up a cigarette and gave him one, and they both smoked.
So
cigarettes
that's
in
not.
session.
It's the whole issue was smoking during session, and then they ended up sharing a smoke during session. Oh my god!
Smoking session. But
Jeez.
because it was his big secret. President Roosevelt. Yeah.
So you just kind of mentioned getting up and leaving in the old days would kind of seem to have invoked a more direct response to address it.
Hey, are you ready?
Oh yes, yes. Give me 1 second, brother.
Hang on for a minute here. He'll get it. He's gonna run back to his truck.
Are you the newest members of the church?
Oh God, no. I was in it 30 years. I escaped out. I woke up
30 years or 30 years ago?
well,
Or
both.
30 years?
I got in 1969. I woke up and escaped out in 2000.
One lady from Finland or Israel said she had some brain uric elephants, food, and she'd been 30 years. Somebody been part-time, took them all that to clear, and each time there's a new level, and it never mentions sin, redemption for most religions, including, punishment plus this and that. There's never any that whole mix.
They don't. Hubbard didn't believe in religion, Jesus, churches, angels, anything. He was actually against it.
Was he against him or just non?
He was against him. He had a whole thing that this guy Xenu, this evil warlord, for I don't know, so many millions of years ago, lived on another planet. Ah, that's nice.
Now that I heard on KFI, thank you, George Norrie, in a few years.
What'd you say?
KFI 640 and George Norrie is both health and spiritual things. That in about 27, 20, something big about flying saucers are coming in the news. Yeah. Because I've met people, a Frito-Lay delivery man said the wife saw him at Lake Walker. They're bigger than the football field, which tells me they go out for sports too. And I joked, I said, I was mistaken for one. The teacher said during final, there he goes, an unidentified failing object.
My dad was a football player.
And don't run your car in gasohol. I ran mine. Your car got a ticket for driving under the influence.
What happened?
Gasol.
I don't know what that is.
It's a mixture of alcohol and gasoline. Some people, when they said, don't run your car, my car got a ticket for driving under the influence. The alcohol. Get it?
Yes.
And he appeared in court. He crashed and said, well, the cop said you have to appear in court and make your appearance.
Oh, he crashed in court because he had to make an appearance.
Now, the surgeon said, no heavy lifting for 3 weeks. The boss said, we heard the man, no heavy shoplifting for 3 weeks. And he said that your doctor did a good job. It used to be, you wouldn't hear a word I say, but now whatever I tell you goes in one ear and right out the other. Wow. Oh, and if you're worried about the freeze dying, make me president. Don't worry, you'll never be out of the woods.
There you go.
Too good, brother.
And that's saying people live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. No, it said people live in glass houses shouldn't get stoned. The neighbors might be looking. Is that from the New Testament or what? That,
I think it is.
or from Jesus himself?
It's New Testament.
Yeah. Christian Science is crazy man was bothering me saying that if I can have some. I wanted to see Christian Science reading room. Instead of the 23rd Psalm, she recited the 91st. I felt really calm. Didn't want to run for it. It was a Christian. Funny, I have a degree in Christian Science, but they wouldn't let me into Caltech. And they wouldn't let me into Mount Wilson Observatory, even though I have a degree in radio astrology. Get it? Radio astrology, not radio astrology. I went to Trump's plate dinner, 20,000 a plate. But when I said, nice plate, where's what food? He said 20,000. George, the 20,000 is for the plate. The food is actually. Like my father's business partner went to a gangster relative for a loan, interest 300%. What? Al, we're flushing blood for family. Said, I know. Why do you think it's so low? interest rate. It's only 300%.
Wow.
That's fun. Thank you so much for sharing those, brother.
Yeah.
You're
Oh,
great.
I said to my doctor, "You must be good. I feel so much better every time I leave your office." He said, "You're not the only one." What? Me too. I feel so much better when you leave my office. And who said we don't make alcohol? So one doctor I found every home, Dr. Pepper. So great.
Those are actually some knee slappers you
If
got
you
there.
want your home remodeled, I've been recommended by that magazine, Bitter Homes and Gardens. And oh, the landlord said, "I hear there's a ghost in your place. It means more rent, but he's dead. Doesn't matter. It says there's extra persons. No one going to check, make sure he's okay, you know." Who goes? I found our reincarnationist who said, "Would you keep my apartment off the market till I get back?" And one joke wasn't mine, said, "A party about reincarnation. Come as you were. Your last life, you know."
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, brother. You've been awesome, huh?
Yeah. And if I thought my next life would be like this when I shoot myself, he said,
Oh,
"No, you don't
God.
want to do that. You'll get there even sooner."
Yeah. Really.
You have a good one.
Good night.
They
Good night,
won't let
sir.
me into the Olympics for track and field events. They said, "You don't look athletic." I said, "What do you mean?" Even the doctor agrees I have athlete's foot. I said, "What do you mean I'm not athletic?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, I was kidnapped when I was a kid, and they wanted $1 million. Mom said, 'I'll give you $1 million if you keep the brat. If you dare return him, I'll call the cops.'"
You should do some stand up.
Oh,
Have you ever done stand up?
no, just in class. And oh, if your kid's getting spoiled, just put him in the freezer. They won't get spoiled.
Well, thank you for sharing some laughs with us, brother. You have a
Yeah.
good evening.
Yeah, there was one. So I was, well, that's, I think of, I always think it's something just,
That's okay. I think you got a bunch of them.
yeah.
Yeah, you killed it.
Yeah.
Oh,
you
and this
did.
one was the counselor, not me. You said, "I told my classmates I grew up to be a world famous comedian." They just laughed at me. Now that I am famous, you ought to see their faces. They ain't laughing now. That was the counselor.
Alrighty, brother. You be easy.
Oh, that shrink said, "Patients suffering delusions of grandeur." I said, "Wait a minute, I have delusions, but I'm not suffering, enjoying those ones." And the shrink helped me. Too bad he lost his own mind. The problem in America, there's no asylums for doctors. And I think I mentioned that one. Trees dying, don't worry. Make me president and never be out of the woods.
Yeah, you mentioned it.
Don't worry. Oh, it's good. Okay, I don't know.
All
All
right.
right. I don't care. See another thing. I'll have 10 more jokes.
Yeah.
I think that's it. He should write a book.
Really, that's funny though.
He was funny.
He-
It's just
he-
it was too.
he-
For me, I have a limit, and
Yeah.
it's like okay.
Yeah, he reached the limit for.
Yeah, he
but
was.
I think a lot of times people don't get the opportunity to share
Sure.
themselves a lot.
Yeah.
But he seems like a very good person. So
Oh,
I was
yeah.
trying to give him appropriate time.
Yeah, I know. You were really good. I'm
No, I
I'm only
totally
good
understand.
from bit, and then I had
Most-
to. I
and-
felt like one of us had to let him know. All right. So that's why I started looking here. It was like, all right. Is this LVC? What's LVC? Let's see. Las Vegas? No, this is Los Angeles.
It doesn't matter to you, said LMAO. That came from Tory. He should write a book. This is kind of funny because I mean, you're the one who needs to write the book.
I know. I
Uh,
do. I'm not a writer. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And everyone says, well, get a ghostwriter. And it's like easier said than done. Look at you two. You look very handsome. You too.
I hope you guys are okay from the music. It's so loud.
What did he say?
Oh, the music is so loud. Oh, if we're able to see.
Interesting it. Okay. I like your pants, the one on the right. Very snazzy.
Yeah, you too. Thank you so much.
And send the music.
This guy's been back around the block now 4 or 5 times.
What's the deal?
I don't know. Man. It is
I
noted.
think it's a drug thing.
Mm,
Probably healing or meeting people.
it is interesting. Very curious.
Very, very, very,
Every night when I was doing security, he was like one of the bouncers. But we was one of every night. As soon as I got a girl, bro, I talked to people for like 5 years.
very fishy.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, that's the story of my husband, and I have no idea. To this day, I don't know what that auditor. It's sort of weird. It's something they're never supposed to say. Something like that. Like your mother-in-law said this, your husband said that,
I see.
and now I need to get your side. They should never do that. That's really out of tact. But
Interesting.
she did it, and it does stick in your head. You're like, okay, what? You don't have a right to die until you let me have my side. I want to hear what it was. Maybe it was something totally different.
Yeah.
I know she kind of freaked me out. She was against Martin Luther King. And she said, Martin Luther King ruined Chicago. And I burst out laughing. I thought she was teasing.
Your mother-in-law?
Yeah. And she said, Tori, I'm not joking. I'm absolutely serious. And she gave me this big lecture. And I was like, gee, I came from a totally different environment.
Yeah.
I mean, I realized later, and this is a little lesson for any youngsters. If you're going to get married, go check out your partner's parents and their home and their family before you marry them. I still would have married him, but it was a surprise. It was.
Yeah.
Very different than my environment. Very. Really nice people. I really liked them a lot. I loved the family. I mean, they were cool people. But
Seeing them in their own environment.
I don't know if she would have been okay with it. Do you see what I mean? I was okay with them, but I don't know that she was okay. I was a hippie, you know what I mean? And I don't think it was her style. Chicago was pretty conservative back then. My parents were pretty conservative too. They didn't dig my hippie routine. So what were they gonna do? I mean, I'd already done so much weird shit. It was like, forget it. He had already sent me to a girls' Catholic boarding school above a convent to finish high school because I was too crazy in Lake Forest in Chicago.
They thought that would
Yeah, they thought
mellow you out.
my grandparents lived in Kansas City, Missouri, and they thought, well, they can watch after her, which is so stupid. If you're a parent, don't ever send your kids away, ever. It's the worst thing you can do because now you're just abandoned. You know what I mean? I side with the Sea Org kids who feel like they were abandoned. I do because that's how it felt. It just felt like they just dumped me off, and I was with a bunch of nuns. So I really was not Catholic. And
So it was almost like a boarding school.
it was a boarding school. It was a boarding school above a convent. So
What's a convent, if you don't mind me? I'm not
a
familiar.
convent is a place where the nuns live. Remember I showed you
Nice.
that place on the corner of the end of my block, and I said this is a convent.
Right. Okay,
Yeah,
now.
or it used to be a convent. It isn't anymore because they don't. I don't know that they have nuns anymore, but these were the ones all in the black, that you see in the movies where they're all in black, and you can just see a little bit of their face. That's really spooky.
Interesting.
And I was a night owl, so I was like, there's no way I'm going to bed at 9 o'clock at night. And they'd sit out in the hall, and they'd be like, "But we're out in the hall, so your lights are off at 9." So I turn off my lights at 9, and then and this is a true story. And I took my son there because I thought, well, maybe I'm just exaggerating, because but I wasn't. It was 4 stories up. This is like 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's up at the top of that.
Okay.
That's where I was. And I thought, I'm not going to sit out. I'm not turning off my lights and going to bed at 9 at night. I'm just not. I'm a night owl. So I thought, okay, I'll turn off my lights. And then I opened my window and I had a girl that was a year older than me, about three windows down. So I would scale along the building down to Cash's room. And I just figured, hey, the worst is I fall and I'm dead.
Oh
Who
my
cares? I'll be
God,
out of here.
Terry.
That's it.
No
And
way.
the best is I get down to Cash's and she'll tell me about guys. Because she was all hip to guys and stuff. So I did.
What age were you around this time?
I was a junior in high school, whatever age that is.
Sounds like about the age to be doing something.
I
like
know. Can you believe it? I took my son there and I went, oh my God. Yeah, and it was actually even a little higher than that. And I was, I think it was like one floor above that because the first floor was, I don't know what, but it wasn't the room.
That's the second time they've been by.
But can you believe I did that? But that's why people always say, I would never do that. It's too high. And I'm like, not me. I love height.
Yeah.
I've always been a high person. And we used to go with my brothers to Wisconsin. And they out in the forest, they have these big fire towers for the firemen to get way up high. And then they can watch all over the forest to see if there's any fires going, right? So they'd say, all right, let's go. And this was always their trick. You're a girl, you're not going to do it. And I said, no, I will. I will. So they'd take me with them, and we'd get up to the first story, which is like, there, and jump into the water. I'd be like, okay, I'd do it. And we get to the second story. They would, and they say, you're not going to do it. You're a girl. And I'd do it. And then we get the third story, and the fourth story was about that high, and it was a little higher because it was this fireplace. Or fire tower.
Yeah, like a fire watch tower.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
really high up.
That's
But I'd get
incredible that-
way up there and they'd say, go ahead, you're too chicken, you're not gonna do it. And I'd go, I'm gonna do it. And I'd just sliver up and point my toes. So it was really good training for me in many ways. Because
Yeah.
it made me face a lot of stuff that, most people would never have to face.
Oh yeah. That's actually really fun.
Yeah.
Oh goodness,
Right, we
guys.
gotta look at these guys and see what they're saying.
Oh hey guys, how y'all doing?
How you doing,
Yeah,
guys?
are y'all hanging out with
How
us?
you doing? You're looking like you're having fun.
We need a little fire pit out here.
I know we need a fire pit.
I
We
need to figure
do.
that out next. That would be
Hey,
so
Jurgen. Hey, Nerman. All right, philosophy. Yes, it was. Slowly, everything you lost everything. I'm not sure what you said. Uh-oh. They've got the beat it thing going.
Yeah, it's absolutely terrible. I need to take a video of that in here in a little bit on record because now it's 10:17. Here, actually,
Should I turn this off or mute it?
no, I could like raise this a little bit,
Yeah, raise it up.
like about right there.
Because you can definitely. Look, that's so cool. You can do it by your.
No,
Oh.
oh no, I had it right here. But I think I'm gonna mute mine and get a video of it. Right.
Yeah,
So I'm
I
gonna do
think you should.
that. Yeah, you don't have.
And again, the video of the whole that it's a
garage.
it's a garage.
Yeah.
So go up to the driveway, and then when the guy pulls in, so they can see it.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Chat, we're gonna mute for just a second so I can get out of it.
Now, where are you guys? Hi, Tori. Nice to see you. Hey, hey. Can't story chance. Did any of you like my 027 story? I didn't get to see if you did. Stop by and say hello. Sophie. Oh, and Jurgen. Okay, cool. Barbette. All right. Ruined my mobile home in Clearwater. Are you serious? Jesus. That's awful. Could you sue them? Did you get it? Did the van go in?
Yeah, I got it with the van, everything. It's
Good.
I
And you got the whole, how big this is? You get the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm doing several.
Okay.
I got a lot of homework to do.
Okay, because I wanted to see how big this is, that it's actually a park.
Yeah,
And sometimes a picture's worth 1,000 words.
Yeah.
really is.
Oh, 100%. It's like that was. I even got us over here. Like we're just sitting over here. So
Yeah.
just the two of us, and they were telling us to eat it.
Now,
Chill out, Scientology.
it should help Scientology. You're never going to win doing this. Never. I know you're watching those, and you're never going to win. Not ever, never, 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 never. And the proof is in your empty organs all around the world. I've seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it too, and I've only.
Woo! And look at all the people honking. And this is late at night. In the day, earlier, concerts.
Still showing up. That's the craziest part of me. But you had a
What
good.
did you say?
The craziest part of me is they're still showing up.
I know.
It's
I
just
don't, I
nuts.
don't get. I
I
don't
think
get.
you really nailed it though with the idea of cleaning
Cleaning.
or prep for the next day.
Yeah.
That has to be-
Cleaning and prep and stuff like. Probably administrative. You know, they have to do all kinds of. I told you what happened with the ethics. You probably don't even know this. Everyone who writes a knowledge report, they have knowledge reports in Scientology where you have to write the time, place, form, and event of what happened that was out tech. And so, you know, you write it up and you have to send the person who did the wrong thing, they get a copy, and anybody that's part of it, they get the copy of it and a copy to ethics. So now, after years of being in Scientology, I go into ethics and I say to this guy that's there, I say, look, what happens to all these knowledge reports when after you get them? And he goes, you want to see what's going on? And I go, yeah, I really do. And he goes, you really want to see what's going on? I said, I really do. He goes, open that door. And I opened this door and I swear to God, it was like a room filled with just pitch papers all over the place,
No
from
way.
the floor to the ceiling. Nothing organized, not even in stacks, nothing, just thrown in there. Just thought, wow, these guys, and this was in the 90s. I thought these guys are,
These were ethics officers.
yeah, this is the ethics of AOLA.
Oh my
Ethics,
God.
the ethics thing for
Guys, get it
AOLA.
together.
Huh?
I was telling Osa, get it together.
Get it together.
That is,
I know.
It's
like,
probably still going on to this day.
yeah. And
Just-
how funny is that? To just throw it in the, you know, here's people that think there's some actions happening with this. No, they're not. They're not doing shit.
They're just
That's-
taking them and throwing them in a room. That's all.
You can tell they were just totally overwhelmed. You know, and I think
Yeah.
they still are. They, you
Oh,
know, it's just like,
100%.
wait, I mean, how could you not be with all these people, with all these cameras?
If they're actually reporting everything they hear or seeing, like, because if they essentially if they're affected or something like by something they hear, how do you say, finding a rune, like a trigger point or something, however you would say, like a reactionary point, they would have to report that to their. I don't even know who
Not necessarily. I mean, you're saying if you say something
that affects.
and
somebody.
and they're affected, some people like remember the difference in Harold and I. So I,
That's
yes,
right.
would have written up. I was really, you know, I, you know, I feel like this was really a bad deed. I mean, if Harold hadn't helped me, I would have probably jumped out the window or something because I had to get to my medicine,
Yeah.
and I probably would have flipped out. And who knows what they would have done, but because Harold helped me and he calmed me down so much and he pointed out it's out tech, then it wasn't a problem. There was nothing to write up. Do you see what I mean? It was, well, I think I did write them up because I think I did write up that it was out tech. You know
Yes,
what I mean?
that is.
And that I have epilepsy and I take medicine for it and they wanted me to stay all night.
Honestly, that post sounds like the best one so far. But like kind of just getting the knowledge reports and seeing all the. I don't know. It'd be kind of interesting to see all that. You know what I mean? Because that's really the
They
Trump.
used to have the SP declarations hanging in the ethics office.
No way.
You could go and read, you'd be like, oh my God, look what Jay did. You know, people would be like, look what Tory did. Oh my God. You know,
Like the dead agent packs or just
no,
SP?
these are people declared.
Oh,
It's
actually,
their SP declared
right.
and what they have on.
So here's a curious question. Do you have to be in Scientology to be declared an
No.
SP? Okay.
No, they've declared, they have a list. You can type in on the internet, you can Google Scientology list of SPs. And a lot of them are churches and organizations, you know, people that had nothing You know, they were never in Scientology,
Mhm.
you know, so,
Interesting.
but because it's such bad PR now, I don't think they declare as many as they, I mean, they do, that's not true. They do declare people, but
All I
I
know
don't
is I
think they
want my.
declare the critics as much as they used to.
Well, damn it, I want my paperwork.
I know. But I always say, just make one up. You know,
Yeah.
my SP Declare is
That'd
on
be
the
so
internet.
fun.
Just
Yes.
copy, you know,
Yeah, it's
and
kind
add
of.
your own shit, you know, that
That is a really cool idea.
I always tell people that just because people are always like, oh, I want my SP Declare. And I'm like, okay, and you need it from the Church of Scientology?
No, yeah,
Fuck
no.
them.
I see what you're saying.
You know,
Yes.
it's all bullshit anyway. So just get it goldenrod. You can go into a printing shop and so you say, I want goldenrod paper. And they know what you're talking about. You don't have to say it's this kind of yellow or something. You just say, I want goldenrod.
Yeah,
And you get that. And it's an I think it's 8x10, right? I think.
it's around there. It's like
Something like
semi.
that. But anyway, I have it on, mine is on, I think, xenu.net. I think
Okay.
Andreas posted it there.
Shout out
But
to
you can just,
Xenu.net, guys. If you haven't checked it out, please go check out Xenu.net.
yeah,
Great
xenu.net.
resource.
Definitely. It's a great reference thing for all kinds of stuff. Andreas, so I miss him. But anyway, it is what it is.
Yeah,
But
that's
yeah,
fun.
they declared a lot of people.
I believe it 100%.
And now they don't post the SP declares because it was such a bad PR thing. And you know, people start thinking, well, wait a minute, I really like this guy. And he left. You know, so now they don't ever talk about it. You don't know who's gone.
Like Natalie, like you're saying what about Natalie? Because I think that's what people had gotten back to her, like under the radar Scientologists, like, yeah, they said this about you, and like, there's no way, like Natalie did this, or pretty much it's hard for people, like you were saying, it's very hard for people to believe that know you,
Right.
that these are things are true,
Right.
because I'm sure a lot of things that they use are from the auditing, like just kind of like the blackmail, and it's probably not even true blackmail.
They just make it up, like saying I had an affair. I told you that was part of my black PR thing that was on the internet. So I started going to every single org and knocking on the door, and I'd say, "Hi, my name's Tory-Christman, and your church is writing on the internet that I had an affair. So I want to meet who I had an affair with. So I want you to find out. I'm going to stay right here until you go and find out who I had an affair with." And I would do it all the time, all the different orgs. And they finally, somebody on my YouTube site said they took off the affair.
Oh man, even while you're outside of Scientology, you're still handling. Just because like you're born to handle, yeah.
They were sending me letters all the time, even though I'm declared suppressive and kicked, you know, they say kicked out. I left. But anyway, they were still sending me letters from these young kids saying, "Hi, Tori, when are you going to be coming back on course?" Right. And so I finally wrote up to RTC and I said, look, this is a false statistic because someone is taking this statistic saying I'm sending out letters to new people. And I'm not a new person. I'm a declared suppressive person. So you are taking that as a false statistic. And that really ruffled some feathers. Then I made a video with Anonymous because another letter came. And so I opened it on the video and I said, RTC, I wrote you the letter about this. I'm going to show you. And I opened it up and you can see it was from the Church of Scientology. I opened it up on the video and then I showed the letter. And that was the last letter I ever got from them.
That's good. I mean, they just don't have it in them.
No, they're
It's just wimpy. It's like a poor, pathetic attempt.
it is wimpy.
It's like a wet napkin thrown at you. It's like,
I know.
come on, really?
It's like my cousin said, he's from Missouri, and he said they're dumber than a bag of hair. I've never heard that expression. We laughed so hard.
That's a good one.
Dumber than a bag of hair. That's you, Osa. That defines you. Dumber than a bag of hair. And Harold Gazazian, if you hear this, hate to tell you, you know you're a smart guy, but stand with these guys when it's this screwed up. Come on. And no, we are not ruining your church. Your church is ruining your church. That's the fact. I told them that when I was in, and I say it 24 years later. You are destroying your church. And you are creating your own enemies, Osa, every single day. And here we are.
It's so true. I talked with Darren about this, how for a short brief moment, they are going to be their own demise. It's
Oh, yeah.
from an aging population, and I mean that alone is not sustainable. Oh,
And not having kids.
look who's here.
Should I move my car?
I don't know.
Huh?
At this moment, it's hard to say. I would get it running. Here, let me get your keys. Don't worry, sorry. I can get your car running and sit in it. You know what I mean? They're definitely going to be making contact with us.
They
Stuff.
are?
Yeah, they're walking towards us. Maybe not. Actually, hold on. I could be wrong.
Looks like they pulled somebody over.
Yeah, I think you're right. Actually, I think we're good, Tor. Okay, good. I think we're good, Chad. I think Buck's always having that feeling that you see the police and it's not like a welcoming feeling.
Yeah.
We'll see how this goes, guys. If we're able to enjoy our evening together still, or what the vibe is. Oh goodness me! It's got chilly.
I know it really got chilly.
I'm like actually cold.
I know, it's cold. We should go.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
kind of ready to relax and get the security stream going, and yeah.
Where it? Oh, your car's. Oh, it's gonna go this way.
Yeah, it's gonna point this way tonight.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that other truck doesn't bug it?
No.
No.
No. I've got a pretty good viewing angle of them. Alrighty, guys.
We're gonna say goodnight.
Yes, guys. We are wrapping up for the evening.
Good night, kids. Thanks for coming by.
Transitioning into the security stream. Let's see. Go ahead and help out. We're over here.